My son asked me a question that broke me, not a complicated question, not an accusation, not anger, just a simple question from a 7-year-old child looking at me with uncertainty in his eyes. He was asking something that should never be a question, something a child should know without asking. It should be so obvious, so clear, and so undeniable that asking would be unnecessary. But he asked because he didn't know, because I never made it clear enough, because I failed to give him certainty about the most basic thing a child needs to be certain about. If you've ever realized your child doubts something they should never doubt, comment "son" below. I'm recording this because I need to tell you what happened, what my son asked me, what I realized in that moment, and what broke inside me when I heard the question and saw the uncertainty in his eyes. Not because I want sympathy, and not because I want to be forgiven, but because maybe you're doing what I did. Maybe your children have the same uncertainty my son has. Maybe you're making the same mistakes I made. And maybe hearing what happened will make you stop, will make you change, and will make you give your children what they need before they have to ask for it with uncertainty in their eyes. We were sitting together, just the two of us, a rare moment of quality time. I was trying to be present, trying to be a good father, trying to connect. And we were talking about his day, about school, about things 7-year-olds talk about, a normal conversation, a sweet conversation, father and son spending time together. And then he stopped, got quiet, and looked at me with these big eyes, uncertain eyes, vulnerable eyes. And he asked, "Dad, are you proud of me?" That's what he asked. A simple question, 7 words. And it broke me. Completely broke me. Not because of the words, but because of the uncertainty, because of the doubt, and because of the need to ask. Because a 7-year-old child was sitting there wondering if his father was proud of him, needing to ask, needing confirmation, needing reassurance about something he should have never had to question. Let me tell you why that question destroyed me, why hearing those words from my 7-year-old son broke something fundamental inside me. Why I'm sitting here months later still thinking about it, still haunted by it, still broken by it. Because he shouldn't have to ask. That's the first thing, the most obvious thing, the thing that hit me immediately. A child shouldn't have to ask if their parent is proud of them. They shouldn't have to wonder. They shouldn't have uncertainty about that. They should just know. They should be so certain, so confident, and so clear about their parents' pride and love that asking would be absurd. It would be like asking, "Do you breathe?" Something so obvious that questioning it makes no sense. But my son didn't know. He had uncertainty, he had doubt, and he had a need to ask because I never made it clear enough, never said it enough, never showed it enough, and never made him certain enough that asking was unnecessary. I failed to give him the most basic thing a child needs, certainty of a parent's love and pride. And that failure, seeing it in his uncertain eyes, hearing it in his tentative question, that broke me because I do. I am proud of him, incredibly proud. He's 7 years old. He's sweet and kind and curious and trying his best at everything. He's exactly who a 7-year-old should be. He's wonderful. He's perfect exactly as he is. I'm proud of him. Completely proud. Totally proud. He doesn't need to be anything different or achieve anything more or prove anything. I'm already proud. Just of who he is. Just of him existing and being himself and being my son. But he didn't know that, didn't feel it, didn't have certainty about it. He had to ask with uncertainty in his voice because I never told him clearly enough, never showed him obviously enough, and never made it so undeniable that doubt was impossible. I felt it, but I didn't communicate it. I didn't make him feel it. And children don't know what you feel. They know what you show them, what you tell them, what you communicate through words and actions. And I failed to communicate, failed to show, failed to tell, and failed to make him certain of something he should never have doubted. Because I saw what I did to him in that moment, looking at his uncertain eyes, hearing his tentative question. I saw what my failures created. I created a child who doubts his father's pride, who wonders if he's good enough, who needs to ask for reassurance about love, who lives with uncertainty about something that should be the foundation of his entire sense of self. I did that through what I didn't say, through what I didn't show, through being demanding without being affirming, through correcting without celebrating, through pointing out what could be better without acknowledging what's already good. I created doubt in my child, and seeing that doubt, seeing what I created, that broke me. Sitting there with my son, hearing his question, seeing his uncertainty, I realized what I've been doing, what kind of father I've been, what I've been communicating, and what I haven't been communicating. what messages I've been sending through my actions and my silence and my focus. I've been correcting constantly. Every little thing, every mistake, every imperfection, every way he could do better. I see something he's doing wrong and I correct it. See something he could improve and I point it out. See something that's not quite right and I fix it. Constant correction, constant improvement, constant pushing toward better. I thought that's good parenting. I thought that's helping him. I thought that's setting high standards and preparing him for the world. I was wrong. I was creating a child who feels like nothing he does is good enough, like he's always falling short, like he's constantly being measured and constantly failing to measure up. That's what constant correction creates, not improvement, but insecurity. I've been demanding without affirming. I have standards, I have expectations. I want him to try hard, to do his best, to develop good habits, to learn discipline. Those aren't wrong things to want. But I've been communicating expectations without communicating pride, been demanding effort without acknowledging achievement, been setting high standards without celebrating when he meets standards. He knows what I expect. He doesn't know that I am proud when he tries, doesn't know that I value his effort, doesn't know that I see him trying and that matters more than results. He just knows expectations, knows demands, knows that I want more, want better, want him to try harder, but doesn't know that I'm already proud of who he is right now. I've been silent about love. I feel love, intense love, overwhelming love. I love my son more than I can express, more than I know how to express, but I don't express it, don't say it, don't show it clearly. I assume he knows, assume it's obvious, assume children just understand that parents love them. But children don't know what you don't tell them, don't feel what you don't show them, don't have certainty about what you don't communicate clearly. I've been silent, and silence doesn't communicate love. Silence communicates uncertainty. My son doesn't know with certainty that I love him, that I'm proud of him, that he's exactly who he should be, because I never told him clearly, never showed him obviously, never made it undeniable through words and actions and constant reinforcement. I assumed love was understood. I was wrong. I've been focused on potential instead of person. When I look at my son, I see potential, see who he could become, see what he could achieve, see future possibilities. And I focus on that, on helping him reach potential, on developing his abilities, on preparing him for the future. But while I'm focused on potential, I'm missing the person, missing who he is right now, missing the 7-year-old child who exists today, missing the present while focusing on the future. And my son feels that I'm always looking at who he could be instead of seeing who he is, feels that he's not quite enough as he exists now, feels that he needs to become something different to earn pride. That's what focusing on potential instead of person creates, a child who feels like his current self isn't valuable enough. My son asked if I'm proud of him with uncertainty in his voice. That question revealed what I created, what my approach, my corrections, my demands, my silence, and my focus on potential did to him. What damage I caused, what insecurity I built into my 7-year-old child. He doubts he's good enough. That's what I created. A 7-year-old child who wonders if he's good enough, if he's meeting expectations, if he's doing enough to earn pride, if he's worthy of love. 7 years old and already doubting his worth. Already wondering if he measures up, already questioning if he's sufficient. Because I corrected more than I celebrated, because I pointed out flaws more than I acknowledged strengths, because I focused on improvement more than I expressed satisfaction with who he is. I created doubt in a child. In my child, that's damage, that's harm, that's failure. He's trying to earn something he should just have. He's trying to earn my pride, trying to be good enough, trying to meet standards, trying to prove his worth, trying to achieve enough to deserve love. He shouldn't have to try to earn these things, shouldn't have to prove anything, shouldn't have to achieve to deserve pride, should just have it automatically, unconditionally, just for being himself, just for existing, just for being my son. But I made it conditional, made it something to earn, made it dependent on meeting standards and fixing mistakes and reaching potential. So he's trying. 7 years old and trying to earn what should be his birthright, what should be given freely, what should never be in question. He's uncertain of my love. This is the worst part, the most devastating part, the part that breaks me most completely. My 7-year-old son is uncertain of my love, has doubt about whether his father loves him, whether his father is proud of him, whether he's valued and cherished and important. He has uncertainty about the thing that should be most certain in his world, the foundation everything else builds on, the unshakable truth that should ground his entire sense of self. He's uncertain about it because I failed to make it certain, failed to communicate it clearly, failed to show it obviously, failed to eliminate all possible doubt, and now my son lives with uncertainty about my love. That's the worst thing I could do to him, the most fundamental failure, the deepest damage. Sitting there with my son, hearing his questions, seeing the damage I caused, I understood what I should have been doing, what I failed to do, what I need to do differently, and what every parent needs to do that I wasn't doing. I should have been saying it out loud, clearly, repeatedly. I'm proud of you. I love you. You're exactly who you should be. You're wonderful. You make me happy. I'm so glad you're my son. Simple words, direct words, words that create certainty, words that eliminate doubt, words that build a foundation of security and love. I should have been saying these words every day, multiple times, making sure my son heard them so often that doubt was impossible. Making sure he knew with absolute certainty that I'm proud of him and love him and value him exactly as he is. I should have been celebrating who he is now, not just focusing on who he could become, not just seeing potential, but seeing the person. Seeing the 7-year-old child who exists today, celebrating that child, delighting in that child, being proud of that child exactly as he is without needing him to change or improve or reach potential. Just being proud of the current reality of who he is, of his personality and his sweetness and his curiosity and his efforts and his existence. Celebrating the person, not the potential, making him feel valued for who he is now, not who he might become. I should have been balancing correction with affirmation. For every correction, multiple affirmations. For every pointing out of a flaw, multiple acknowledgments of strengths. For every push toward improvement, multiple celebrations of current achievement. Balance, so that a child doesn't just hear what's wrong, but hears more about what's right, doesn't just feel inadequate, but feels valuable, doesn't just experience demands, but experiences pride. I've been all correction and no affirmation, all demands and no celebration, all focus on flaws and no acknowledgement of strengths. That creates insecurity. I should have been balancing, should have been affirming more than correcting, should have been celebrating more than demanding. I should have been making love unconditional and obvious, not something to earn, not dependent on achievement, not conditional on meeting standards. Unconditional, automatic, obvious, given freely, expressed constantly, made so clear that doubt is impossible. Children need unconditional love, need to know they're valued just for existing. Need to know that a parent's pride isn't dependent on performance. Need to know they're cherished exactly as they are. I failed to make that clear, made it seem conditional, made it seem like something to earn, made it uncertain. I should have made it unconditional and obvious, should have eliminated all doubt, should have made my son certain of my love. After he asked, after that question broke me and after I saw what I'd done, I had to answer, had to respond. Had to try to fix what I'd broken, had to give him what he needed, what he should have had all along, what I should have been giving him constantly instead of making him ask with uncertainty. I looked at him, at his 7-year-old face, at his uncertain eyes, at this perfect child who was doubting whether his father was proud of him, and I told him the truth. Not what I should have told him, but the truth about what I feel, what I've always felt, what I failed to communicate. I'm so proud of you, so incredibly proud. You don't have to do anything to make me proud. You don't have to achieve anything or be anything different. I'm already proud just of you, just of who you are, just of you being yourself and being my son. You are exactly who you should be. You are perfect exactly as you are. I love you completely, unconditionally. Nothing you do or don't do changes that. You are my son and I love you and I'm proud of you. And that's permanent. That's certain. That never changes. That's what I told him. What I should have told him every day since he was born. What he should have heard so often that asking was unnecessary. What I failed to communicate and had to say reactively instead of proactively. Better late than never, but so much better if he'd never had to ask. If he'd always known. If certainty had been the foundation instead of doubt being a question needing an answer. If you have children, if you're a father or mother to kids of any age, I need you to understand something. Something I learned too late. Something that broke me to learn. Something I'm trying to fix but should have prevented. Something you can prevent if you act now. Your children don't know you're proud of them unless you tell them. Don't assume they know. Don't assume it's obvious. Don't assume love and pride are understood without being spoken. They're not. Children need to hear it. Need to hear it repeatedly. Need to hear it so often that doubt is impossible. Need certainty created through constant affirmation. If you're not saying it, saying I'm proud of you, saying I love you, saying you're exactly who you should be, your children might have uncertainty like my son had, might be wondering, might be doubting, might need to ask questions they shouldn't have to ask. Share this if you've ever realized your child doubted something they should never doubt. Comment if this made you think about what you tell your children. Subscribe for more truth about parenting and what children actually need from us.